There comes a moment in life when you find yourself at a crossroads. Maybe it's a friendship that has grown strained, or a family relationship that leaves you feeling more exhausted than uplifted. You hold on to these connections out of habit, loyalty, or fear of change, even though deep down you know they're holding you back from flourishing. The Stoics understood this dilemma well. Life, they taught, is a journey of growth and self-improvement, and sometimes this path demands that we let go of relationships that no longer serve our well-being. This isn't about cold detachment. It's about making space for what nourishes us. In this video, we explore 11 signs that it may be time to walk away from certain relationships, even if they are with family or close friends. 1. When growth feels stifled. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Growth is essential. If the relationships in your life feel more like a weight dragging you down, it's time to pause and reflect. Maybe you've noticed that every time you try to share your ambitions or take on something new, someone close to you dismisses it with sarcasm or discouragement. We often stay in these relationships, hoping things will change. But the reality is that personal growth requires space for self-discovery, for mistakes, and for the people who cheer us on, not those who pull us down. Ask yourself, what's holding me back from stepping into the next version of myself? 2. When drama becomes the default piece is not just a luxury, it's a necessity for a fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But some relationships feel like a constant storm, filled with drama and conflict. Have you ever had a friend whose presence always seems to stir chaos? You leave conversations feeling drained, caught up in arguments that don't seem to go anywhere. These situations can sneak up on us, especially when they come from people we've known for a long time. But when a relationship disrupts your inner peace more than it supports it, it's worth asking, why am I staying in this storm? 3. Subtle manipulation and control. True freedom, according to Epictetus, comes from being in control of ourselves. But manipulation, especially when it's subtle, can make us feel as though someone else is pulling the strings in our lives. Maybe it's a partner who discourages your interests under the guise of concern, or a family member who makes decisions for you without your input. These actions erode our sense of autonomy over time, leaving us disconnected from who we are. Recognizing manipulation is difficult, but once you see it, the path becomes clearer. The Stoics encourage us to reclaim our power, not through confrontation, but by setting boundaries that honor our sense of self. 4. Lack of mutual respect. A relationship without respect is like a house built on sand. Sooner or later, it will collapse. The Stoics believe that every person deserves dignity, and this includes the way we treat ourselves. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly belittled or dismissed, it's a sign that respect is missing. It's not always easy to walk away, especially from those we care about. But self-respect means recognizing when your worth isn't being honored and making decisions that reflect that. 5. Energy drained, not replenished relationships should feel like a refuge, not a battlefield. They should recharge you, not leave you depleted. But when interactions with certain people leave you exhausted, mentally and emotionally, it's a signal that the connection may not be healthy. The Stoics teach us to protect our inner peace, just as a fortress guards against invaders. Not every relationship will feel light and easy all the time, but the ones that matter will contribute to your well-being, not undermine it. 6. Communication feels impossible. The Stoics valued clear and honest communication. They knew that without it, misunderstandings multiply, leaving us disconnected. If conversations with someone always feel strained, filled with miscommunication or unspoken resentment, it might be time to reflect on whether the relationship is serving its purpose. Sometimes, no matter how much effort we put in, communication fails. The Stoics would remind us to approach these situations with both patience and wisdom, learning when to try again and when to step back. 7. Compromising values. Our values are the foundation of who we are. Marcus Aurelius urged us to live according to our principles, no matter the circumstances. But relationships sometimes challenge those principles, pressuring us to compromise on things that matter most to us. Whether it's honesty, integrity, or kindness, if a relationship consistently pushes you to betray your values, it's worth reflecting on whether it aligns with the life you're trying to build. Living out of sync with your values is a burden that grows heavier over time. 8. Reciprocity is absent. Healthy relationships are a two-way street. There's a natural rhythm of giving and receiving, where both parties feel valued and supported. But when you find yourself constantly giving without receiving, the relationship can become unsustainable. The Stoics taught that while we should strive to help others, it should not come at the expense of our well-being. It's important to surround yourself with people who give as much as they take, fostering relationships built on mutual support. 9. When abuse is present. No relationship, no matter how close, should compromise your safety or dignity. Abuse, whether emotional, verbal, or physical, goes against every principle of Stoic philosophy, which values the inherent worth of every individual. Leaving an abusive relationship takes immense courage, but it is a necessary step toward reclaiming your dignity. The Stoics remind us that the most important relationship we have is the one with ourselves, and it must be nurtured above all else. 10. Clinging to illusions. The Stoics taught that happiness comes from seeing things as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. Holding on to the fantasy that someone will change or that a relationship will improve only prolongs suffering. Letting go of illusions is difficult, but it opens the door to living authentically. Only when we accept reality can we build relationships that reflect truth, not wishful thinking. 11. When peace is consistently absent. Ultimately, the goal of Stoicism is to cultivate inner peace. Relationships that consistently disrupt this peace are not in alignment with our highest good. The Stoics remind us that our time and energy are limited. We must invest them wisely, nurturing relationships that bring us closer to tranquility and joy. Conclusion: choosing peace over fear. It's never easy to walk away from relationships, especially those we've held on to for years. But the Stoics teach us that peace of mind is non-negotiable. Every decision we make about who stays in our lives and who does not should be made with wisdom, clarity, and courage. Thank you for joining me today. If this exploration resonated with you, I encourage you to like this video, subscribe to Stoic Wisdom, and share it with someone who might need it. Let's continue on this journey together, building a life grounded in peace, virtue, and strength. Until next time, keep cultivating your inner fortress.